Hello, hello, welcome everyone. We're going to give people some time to hop on here. Happy Sunday afternoon. Hello to everyone who's catching this on the replay, as I know a lot of people do. For those who do generally end up catching the replay, we go live every Sunday, anytime between 1 and 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Actually, I'm going to plug in my charger while I'm waiting for people to hop on. Hello to whoever hopped on. Happy Sunday. Is that working? Yes, perfect. Yeah, so we go live every Sunday. We keep it fluid, right? This is a day of rest, so we're not being strict with deadlines here, but anytime between 1 and 3 typically on Sunday afternoons for anyone who does tend to miss the replays, and that's Eastern Standard Time. They're always going to be, the lives are always going to be right in and around that time frame. Hello to whoever's jumping on. Go ahead and jump in the chat. Let me know that you're here. Hello, Navdip. Is that Navdip Singh? Nice to see you. Yes, returning from my vacation. It was beautiful to get away for a few days, get some sunshine. I saw my first alligators, which was very exciting to me. I'm a big fan of reptiles in general, and I'd never seen one before. I lived in Florida briefly and never got to see an alligator, which I found very sad. So we made sure to go to the Everglades this time and check them out. So yes, representing the Gator Park there. Hello, Pete. Hello, Eli. Hello, Suzanne. Hello, Etta. Well, thank you. Yes, it was definitely very, very refreshing. Oh yes, we love all of our beautiful tribe members from the UK. And all of us glorious light workers, right? Holding it down all over the globe. Hello, Pamela. Thank you. Yeah, it was beautiful. The Keys were beautiful. I've never been through the Keys either, so that was really nice. It was a bit of a whirlwind vacation. We wanted to see a lot of things, so we didn't do. There wasn't a ton of downtime, although I definitely found time to take some naps. Hello, Jody. I'm feeling all right. It's definitely the experience of creating an avatar for a being to inhabit within my body is it's in full swing now. That's what I'll say. It is a miraculous thing that my body is doing, and it has a lot of really strange and unexpected symptoms, and there's a lot of different experiences I'm having. I will say, just to empower any women out there who feel bad about saying, like, there's a lot of women out there who do not enjoy being pregnant, and I am one of them. I'm sticking with that energy of gratitude, right? I am grateful for the miraculous, and I respect the miraculous thing that is happening. I respect the sacredness of being a portal through which a being is entering this planet, but the experience itself I'm not super into. And so I know there's a lot of women out there who are afraid or ashamed to admit that, because society tells us that we should be overjoyed the whole time. So I'm here to help break through that stereotype. It is not really a pleasurable experience a lot of the time. There is that beauty of connecting with that soul, of having those moments, but overall, like, I'll tell you what, this has been probably one of the most challenging experiences of my entire life. And I think, and that kind of leads in, hello, Tommy, I'm glad you were able to join us. And thank you, Pete, for helping to welcome everyone. And thank you, Eli, as well. You guys are so great, all of you. You're so great at welcoming each other, and just like, I love the tribe here and the way that everybody comes together. It's really, really beautiful. You guys are incredible. And, it's just, you're just beautiful. So I want to give a shout out to everyone and acknowledge them. Hello, McKenna. Just for being the incredible souls that you are, all the love and support in this community. It's just so beautiful. So beautiful. Yeah, and Eli, that's the thing. Like, we have to be honest, right? This journey is not easy. It's and I was thinking about this, and I was noticing this with other people as well, throughout the day and throughout over the past week or so. Is that I think a lot of light workers right now, in one way or another, we're in this period of time where really it's like our last crutches are being removed. Whatever it is, anything that we use to make this experience of life easier for us, anything that we use that we might consider like a crutch, anything that is not healthy for us in some way or shape or form, is being removed from our reality right now. And so I've noticed I'm not the only one going through this. The way that I'm experiencing it right now, it feels a bit extreme, just because I also have all of the hormones of pregnancy, running through me, right? I have to really take that time to not be reactionary. Sometimes these emotions come through and it's literally like I can't even speak. I just have to let it wash over me and allow it to be, right? And I have to really acknowledge, do I want to say something right now? Or like what is this? Like, it's really making me be very conscious. It's an intense experience. But on top of that, I am having to let go of those things that were not healthy for me, or those things that I used as a crutch, right? It's really kind of showing me like where I walk my talk and where it is that there's still a lot of growth for me. This experience is definitely bringing that to the forefront. And so for me, the most key, and I talk about this stuff because we're all going through this in one way or another, right? And I know that there are going to be elements that we can all relate to. And so for me, like those of you who have followed this channel for a while, you may have seen, if you haven't seen and you want to learn more about me and my personal story, I have a playlist called Storytime. I think there's only one video in there right now, but I talk about sort of my history, and I talk about how I sort of moved down this path and how I found my purpose and all of that. Hello, Eve. Thank you. And I talk about my history with addiction. It's not something that I discuss all the time, although I do want to start bringing more awareness to it, right? So I discuss that. And so there's a lot of energies that I moved through in my lifetime, but nicotine and cigarettes has been something that I have not up until this point. Like, I've tried to address it over the years, but it's been that one crutch that I've really held on to. And so it's like with the removal of that and the working through that energy, which is touch and go. I'm really working hard at it. I'm doing very, very well, but this has been kind of like, the way that I look at it is, for the last 20 years, that's been kind of like the gatekeeper, right? And so removing the gatekeeper, I've removed a lot of energies over the years. I've removed sort of distanced and detached myself from a lot of really powerful, energetically powerful substances and other forms and other behaviors, right? But this one has sort of been at the root of everything. And beyond that lies everything that I haven't yet wanted to deal with, right? And a lot of us, we have this thing. And so for me, that's that thing. And the other thing that I have is food, right? And sugar. And so when that thing gets taken away, that's my go-to. And I can't do that either, because that's not good. It's not healthy for me. It's not healthy for my child. And so I'm having to let that go now. And underneath that, it's like all of these things that I still had left that helped me to maintain my equilibrium, right? That kind of masked whatever still wanted to be addressed or healed, are coming to the surface, right? And it's like, I found it really fascinating. I was talking to my partner, I think it was yesterday, because pretty much at this point, all of even my positive coping mechanisms, a lot of those have been sort of removed temporarily, You know, like nature is a big calming force for me. Nature is not accessible to me right now. I think we returned and it was 6 degrees outside. So it's like all of this stuff that would be a go-to. It's like, no, it's meditation. It's meditation. It's going within. It's going inside. It's being fully present with the self. It's doing the work, like really in the areas where I have kind of skated by. I'm really having to do the rest of that work now that I've distracted myself from, right? Without any of those outside things, it's really sitting with the self. And so the reason that I'm sharing all of this with you guys is because I think we all have these things coming up for us right now, like these last little things that were unhealthy for us or that helped to get us through, helped to get us by, distracted us from ourselves, right? That we're being asked to remove now. We're being asked to look at these last habits, these last addictions, these last coping mechanisms. And we're really being asked to go within and get in touch with the self and just sit with the self, just wholly and completely sit with the self, right? And so it's going to be intense for a lot of us, I think, because we are, like we said, we have hit the fast forward button. We are growing, we are ascending at a faster and faster rate, right? Things are shifting and changing on this planet so dramatically. And so we're being asked to step up. We have to keep up with that energy. And wherever it is that we are still out of alignment or whatever. And all right, I'm trying to remember this visual that I was given earlier today when I was thinking about this. And it was like a sort of similar to a vibratory scale. And so they showed me this scale and they showed me how everything that we do essentially either brings us higher on this scale or brings us lower. And so we're every single action that we take, every thought that we think, every substance that we pick up, even if it seems like it's not noteworthy, right? Everything brings us back and forwards on this vibratory scale. On this, what was it? I'm using vibratory scale. That's not what I'm looking for. It's the memory is coming back to me as I'm speaking about it. It was a life force. It was showing our life. They were showing me it was like a scale of our life force energy. So everything either adds to our life force energy or detracts from our life force energy. So anything that has been detracting from our life force energy is being removed. Right. And so for me, like the biggest example of that would be the cigarettes, right? Every time, whether I wanted to admit it to myself or not, and when we're addicted to something, we're real good at putting on those blinders, right? Every time that I lit up a cigarette, that was detracting from my life force energy. That was bringing me down the scale, right? It's just a lot of us, we're working with food right now. We're working on getting a healthier diet, on eating cleaner. So every time we eat sugar, every time we eat something that's a neurotoxin or something that's just not really good for us, that brings us down on the vibratory scale. Every time we eat something living, that brings us up. And then it's hard to keep up with the chat right now and keep my train of thought going. But hello, Joe. Hello, Millicent. But yeah, I just noticed Pete talking about dependent relationships. That is applicable to this life force scale as well. Right? When we are participating in a relationship that's draining, it's draining that life force energy. When we're participating in one that's assisting us in our growth, that is bringing us forward. That's increasing the life force energy. And so we can really apply it to anything that we're consuming, anything in our reality, right? Is it creating more or less life force, right? Is it bringing us up or down on that vibratory scale? And anything that's draining our life force, anything that's bringing us down on that vibratory scale has to go. There's just not room for it right now. And the process of that is not necessarily going to be comfortable, right? But we have to do it. Now is the time. You know, and it takes a different level of motivation for each of us. You know, like I had to really look at it and be like, all right, Kassia, like it's more motivating. Like if you can't get it together around these things now, when are you ever going to be more motivated to do so than you are in this moment with, you know what I mean? And so it really made me think. And it's some of these things, it's really fascinating too, I'm finding personally, right? Is that I truly believed that I had transcended addiction consciousness. And now when I'm looking at my behaviors and I'm looking at everything that I'm working through right now, I've realized, no, it's very insidious. It's still there. It just looks different. But it's absolutely still present. And so it's really fascinating. And I may do more videos geared around this because I think a lot of us, right, a lot of light workers, a lot of empaths, we have this experience of addiction, right? And it's a very human thing. Lots of humans too, but those of us who are more sensitive, we tend to really have this experience as well. Those of us who have this distinct memory of something much more comfortable than the density that we live in and are present in right now. Sometimes I think it's even just that alone causes us to seek comfort. I don't know. It's a very multi-layered and fascinating thing. But it's just really interesting to see and understand. So we're getting this really deeper look into ourselves and where it is that we are in our spiritual development and what is ready to be looked at next. And like we said, what is bringing up that vibration and what is bringing down that vibration, right? So that we can really get into a place of balance, a place of harmony, and we can be as energetically light as possible, right? We can be as open to these energies as possible. And if for some of us, it really is a crash course. So that's a big thing that I'm feeling going on. I know is going on for me, and I think is going on for a lot of people. In addition to, we have the ancestral healing going on. That's been a really powerful theme coming up this month, right? We have the balancing, the harmonizing of our masculine and feminine energies. That's a huge energy that we're working with this month. There's a lot that we're working with. And I really liked this idea also as we're balancing our masculine and feminine. It's this energy, and we've talked about it a little bit. And we definitely talked about it, I believe, in the video that Pete and I did on the 2-2 portal, if you guys haven't checked that out. This energy of the feminine supporting the healing of the masculine, right? And the balancing of the masculine energy and how these two energies are balancing each other out. So that's a big energy that we're working with throughout February as well. There's a lot of really big energies that we're working with throughout February, you guys. It is a big month. 2022 is a big year. The next few years are really, really big years, really transformative years. And so it's like, even if it feels like it's not fair, right? Even if it feels like a lot's being put on us, it's like everything that's happening, remember, it's happening for me, not to me. There is a benefit. There is a reason. We are being asked to level up and we are being assisted in that process. But it's absolutely necessary in order for us to move to the next tier of our evolution. We have to be prepared. We have to be ready, right? We have to be in a certain space. So we're all going through our own personal initiations right now that are leading us to that next frontier, right? To that next level of our experience, of our ascension process. And that's what 2022 is all about, taking it to that next level. All right, what does you 2.0 look like? Right? What does you 4.0 look like? What is that next level of you? Are you ready to meet that person? Are you ready and prepared to do what it takes in order to become that, in order to fully embody that person, that next version of you that's ready to be revealed, right? Hey, Johnny. Hello. Hello, baby Buddha. I love you guys. Just checking in the chat real quick. Yeah. No matter what. Exactly. I love that. Hello, Sophie. Yeah. That's an initiation right there, Sophie. Everything you're going through right now. Hello, Moon Eye. Yep. Yeah, we're all going through our own initiations in our own ways. And it can be, that's how do we learn to shine our light though, right? We don't learn when things are easy. We learn when things are hard. right? It's like, how is faith built? Faith isn't built in the moments where everything's going right. Faith is built in the moments where we feel as though everything's going wrong, right? But we're able to trust, right? It's trusting in the unknown. That's what faith is. Faith is knowing unshakably, even if my outer reality is not mirroring in this moment, my belief I know and I hold strong to what I know to be true, right? And so we're all being asked to dig deep within ourselves. We're all being asked to really cultivate and develop that faith and to learn how to shine our light. Remember, guys, when does a light shine brightest? In the darkness, right? So the darker it is, the brighter your light's going to shine. And that's what we're all learning right now as we all go through our own individual dark nights of the soul. Hello, Suzanne. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Interesting, ABC. Yeah. Well, of course, love. That really love's all there is, right? Hello, Heather. Yeah. All right. So what we're going to do, I'm actually drawn to the Urban Tarot. So I think we're going to play with this today because I haven't pulled this out in quite a while. It's kind of cool. So we're going to see what messages we have here. Hello, Nora. Clear. Already noticing we got death on the bottom of the deck, right? Transformation. Yes, we chose to go deep into the depths of darkness. This is where we find the greatest light. All right, we're going to shuffle here. We're going to get some energies for this upcoming week. What's going on here? What's going on this upcoming week? All of this sector of time here, as we move through February and we move toward that 3-3 portal, that 3-3 portal energy is also huge. All right, we've got a lot that's shifting, a lot that we're getting prepared for. We are being prepared to be the true creators of our reality. But first, all that old programming has to be deleted, right? It has to be removed. It has to be upgraded. Because we don't want to be creating. That's what we've been doing, right? We've been creating from that old programming our whole lives. Now it's time to create from somewhere new. Hello, Shauna. Yes, I hope you are having a blissful Sunday as well. You know, and I share all of this with you guys too. When I share more personally about what's going on with me, which is an exercise in itself in vulnerability, because I'm not usually very good at that. I'm one of those people who tends to keep a lot of their personal. I like to keep the private. You know what I mean? But the reason that I do is because, like I said, we're all going through similar experiences, and I know if I'm experiencing it, then someone else is too, and someone else is going to relate. And also just to show and remind you guys, and maybe it's a little egocentric of me to think that you need reminding, but that I'm stumbling through this experience just like you guys are, right? I am struggling with the same things. I am like, we're all in this together, going through this together, right? And I think that sometimes when people see different personalities, you know, on YouTube and in these different platforms, talking about the things that we talk about on here, they start to get this certain idea. None of us is perfect. None of us is healed. You know, like we're all a work in progress. This is all an unfoldment, and we're all learning and growing together. I am literally no different than anybody else. I'm struggling with all the same things. I'm having the same experiences. And that's really why we're all drawn together, is because we are all having this experience of growth together. We're all just at different stages of this process. And it's just like with anyone, right? Sometimes it's a few steps forward, sometimes it's a step back. And we grow and we learn like that, and we do it all together. Hello, Alorha. You know, I'm not pretending to be anything or anyone other than who I am, right? I'm not pretending to be anywhere that I'm not in my journey. right? I come here completely as I am. And I love each and every single one of you, and I respect you so much because you guys show up as you are, right? And we do this together from that authentic, raw, and real place, from that place of truth. Exactly, our true, authentic self. That's it. That's it. No one's trying to pretend that they've reached Buddha status on here, right? None of us is perfect. None of us is a finished picture, right? We're still painting. It's still a work in progress. Yeah. Oh, I love you so much, Nora. I appreciate you so much. You are so amazing. You really are. So many of you, you're so sweet, and you touch my heart in different ways. And the little nice gestures of kindness over the time that we've known each other. It just, I want you to know, Nora, and I want you to know, just all of you, a lot of you I've had personal interactions with, and you've had these moments where you've thought of me. It's really touched me. And so I want you all to know me, to know that, like, sometimes some of you will send me like different programs and things like that, links to different things that you're able to share, sometimes like a deck of cards or something, a t-shirt. And I want you guys to know that, like, it really does mean a lot to me. I don't know if I express that as often as I should. And of course, your donations as well, those are so appreciated. And I know that it's not a money thing. It's because, like, you feel that connection, and you're sharing the fact that what I'm doing has value to you, and and that's what it's really about. It's about the energy of that. So anytime, and even if you send me an email and you just tell me how much you've connected with me, or you share it on here, you comment, it means so much to me. So I wanted to shout you guys out and acknowledge you, each and every single one of you, for that, because it really does. And you just inspired me of that, Nora. So thank you so much. You guys are incredible. And you're so valuable to me. And so, of course, the card that popped out was the card on the bottom of the deck when we first started, the death card. Right? So there's this week, we have this huge process of transformation underway. Right? And it's interesting, too, because what is he doing in this photo? Working on the heart. Right? So there's a deep heart transformation going on right now. There's a deep healing of the heart, and we're really being transformed, like our heart chakra, the ways that we connect with each other, right? The two energy, this February month, there's a lot of that two energy as well, that energy of partnership, right? The ways that we react to ourselves and the world around us, the ways that we express love, the ways that we're able to see, hear, and live from our hearts. Like, all of that is under construction right now. So there's a lot of work. It's a lot of that I'm feeling for people, like those old wounds coming to the surface. Whatever's existed in that heart chakra, in that heart center that's ready to be healed, is really coming up for healing this week. So it's going to be possibly an emotionally intense week, a week of great transition, a week where any of those wounds may be coming to the surface. Just because we are in that this, like, a deep process of transformation on a heart level, really learning how to live from our hearts and how to heal whatever exists within our hearts that is preventing us from being able to live from them. And yet, for anyone who is in this process of heart healing, or this is resonating with, who wants extra assistance, please email me. The Belvaspata Angelic Healing of the Heart that I do is really, really powerful. And it's for assisting with anything ascension related, or, especially for star seeds and people who have a difficulty acclimating to this earth and this density, and who are in different levels of this ascension process and needing assistance with that. Like the Belvaspata, that's what it was downloaded for, to assist us with. So please do reach out to me, right? But there's this huge transformation at a heart level going on for people this week. And we have the moon coming out, and the moon came out inverted. So we're going to see whether we want to keep that or leave, or whether we want to keep that or not. essentially. But to me, it feels almost like upright, the moon can represent confusion, right? It can represent illusion. So it's like the dispelling of those illusions. Really, this is like the truth, accepting and acknowledging the truth at a heart level, right? Which is how the transformation occurs. Transformation, we must have awareness in order to achieve transformation. So there is this awareness. There's this removal of confusion. As we're accessing a point of our consciousness that we haven't been able to access before. And as we access that point of consciousness, we're accessing a point of awareness within ourselves that we have not been able to access before. And notice how dark this card is, right? We're talking about the dark night of the soul. We're talking about, right, how the light shines the brightest in the dark. Look how bright that moon looks when it's illuminated by all this darkness, right? So out of this place of darkness, we are rising toward light. We have been submerged, hello, Karen, in this darkness. And from this darkness, everything is now being illuminated. The truth shall set you free. That's the energy that I'm feeling. There's a truth that we're acknowledging at a heart level. And the acknowledgement of that truth brings about a huge catharsis, a huge healing, a huge transformation. This is like we were talking about, right? These cards together, major initiation. And major journey, right? Journey into that subconscious. For some reason, after I said that, I was reminded of, and I started thinking of all the different chambers of the heart, right? The way the blood gets pumped and circulated through the chambers of the heart. So it's like the blood is our consciousness, right? And it's circulating through all of the chambers of our awareness, our consciousness. It does hurt. You know, there's that we came here to experience the pain just as well as the pleasure. It's all part of this human experience. It's really interesting too, when I look at this death card, I keep being drawn to the spiders on the wall in the background. Do you guys see those? Those are our fears, right? One of the things, spiders can represent a lot of things, a lot of really positive things, actually. Creativity. They can also represent the webs that we're spinning, the webs that we're weaving, right? So they represent creation. Creation can be positive or negative. They also can represent fears and phobias, especially when we dream about them if we're afraid, right? And so there's like this, as this healing is taking place, and this is what this feels like to me right now too. All right. Like this doctor is a little bit scary, right? You see, he doesn't even have a face, right? And there's all of these fears, there's all of these worries in the background here. And so it's kind of like part of the initiation that we're experiencing is like, it definitely feels like the trusting in the unknown energy, but it also feels like we're being given these opportunities to heal our hearts, to heal these parts of ourselves, to see and understand these parts of ourselves that we have not, to be given access to these aspects of ourselves and this level of understanding and consciousness that we have not been able to access before, this level of healing that we haven't accessed before. But as we're experiencing this, it may not be a pleasant process. It may be like we're being given this opportunity in the midst of a situation that somehow seems challenging. It seems threatening. It doesn't feel 100% safe, right? It doesn't feel safe on the outside. It's like there are misleading factors that are causing us to believe that it's not safe. And that's the connection that we're needing to make, is to understand and to see the truth instead of allowing our fears and these fears and phobias of the past to dictate the choices that we make and what we believe and perceive. We're being asked to go deeper, right? This person doesn't have a face. Initially, that's scary, right? Do we really want a doctor working on us that doesn't have a face, right? This is like the unknown factor. When we allow, what it's kind of reminding me of too is sort of like when I drank ayahuasca. I went to Costa Rica. I did 4 nights of ayahuasca ceremony at this really interesting and amazing place called Rhythmia Life Enhancement Center in Costa Rica, right? And I received a lot of alien, extraterrestrial, whatever you want to call them, surgeries, a lot of activations and surgeries. And really, I think before that experience, I didn't necessarily like the term alien, but I think it's very appropriate now, because there's nothing better than that word to explain that experience, because it's so outside of the realm of anything that we can. It is alien because we have no frame of reference for that type of energy and for the experiences that we can have in the presence of those energies, because there's nothing that we've experienced in this reality that can prepare us for that type of encounter, that type of energy, right? It's very unknown. And so trusting in that moment when I was presented with something so foreign, trusting that that was safe, right? I really had to go deep within. I had to move past my external fear, and I had to get in touch with there was a level of trust and faith in the unknown that I had to allow in order to have those experiences, which were incredibly powerful, to truly know that it was for my greatest and highest good. They were there actually to serve me, to assist me, right? But it was very much like this doctor without a face. I actually never physically saw them the whole time. They did not reveal themselves to me in physical form. I only felt their energy. I saw like the top of an operating room. I saw some other things. I saw, of course, signs and symbols and codes of numbers and stuff when they were activating me. I think I saw the inside of my brain at one point, but I didn't see them at all. All right. So it very much felt like this energy. So that's sort of, that's kind of like the metaphor, right? For the experience is like, are you able to trust? Are you able to move past and to be able to recognize the fears and phobias and the misleading information, right? And check in with the resonance of truth, right? Is this situation really unsafe? Is it really unsafe to open my heart? Is it really unsafe to heal here? Is this what appears to be a challenge actually an opportunity? Can I recognize that? And in that recognition, can I then grow and transform? And this is with that energy of the moon too, right? That which appears one way may actually be another. Interesting, right? And then we have the Chariot on the bottom of the deck here, right? So this is intention. This is moving forward. This is progress. This is action, you guys. Discernment. Exactly, Johnny. All right. 3 major arcana. If we count the bottom of the deck here. That's some serious energy this week, you guys. Some serious progress that's being made. That's what this on the bottom of the deck Chariot feels like to me. This feels like progress, right? Like we are making strides forward this week. We're really stepping up our game. We're peeling through the illusion, right? We are moving past these fears and phobias. We are allowing, it's like we're being given. And so like, that was a lot of words that I just used, right? But what that boils down to message I was trying to get to was that we are being given an opportunity this week to move beyond our fear deeper into faith. All right. We're being given opportunities for healing, but we have to have the courage to accept those opportunities. And we have to have the awareness to recognize them when they present themselves. Where are you being presented this week with an opportunity to heal? Where are you being presented this week with an opportunity to move past a fear, right? To recognize and move past a fear. Where are you being given the opportunity to act from love, to see from love, to live from love, to love, period, right? To open up your heart. And then we have the Eight of Swords here, interference, right? This is the energy. Okay. As I'm holding this card right now, what I'm also feeling, you have static on the live stream. Yeah, that's so fascinating, Eve, because I was just drawn to that comment as I'm looking at the interference card. And what I'm feeling right now, and just so you guys know, if you are having static in the live stream, it is recording, so you can go back and rewatch this. Everything I'm saying is clear on my end. All right? So this will be available for replay. This interference, there are energies here that are attempting to interfere with our growth. And so we want to minimize interference as much as possible. What does that mean? That means that we want to be cleansing and clearing our energy fields, right? We want to be calling in psychic protection. We want to be using discernment and paying attention to the communications coming through. We want to be paying attention to the energies present and how they truly feel, right? Where are we being given this opportunity to embrace the unknown and open our hearts in a place that is, are we confused something as being unsafe, or is it truly unsafe? There's an energy where we want to be sure that we really know the difference. All right. We want to be working closely with our teams and our guides in order to move forward. Are you guys really? Let me see. Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm also going to move my router a little closer and see if that helps too. It's usually in the same place when I do the lives, but let's see if that will assist us at all. Give me just 1 second, you guys. All right, let's see if that helps. But yeah, this energy of interference. All right, so we want to acknowledge this. We want to understand that this interference, but we don't want to fear it. Right? And this is also not just like talking about like these darker energies in a more esoteric sense, right? But it's also talking about the interference where we start noticing the programming. To me, doesn't that kind of look like a TV? When I picked up this card, that's what I saw was a TV. And so this is where we're noticing and understanding too, where some of this programming came from, right? This is really the energy of asking us, and this is another one when we're talking about addictive behavior in ways that we distance, that we cut ourselves off from ourselves, that we kind of like numb out or tap out sometimes. Netflix and TV is also one that I deal with. I like to zone out to that sometimes. I like to disconnect a little bit. And so this is like the programming though. So we're not just talking, and they always say though, right? It's not a coincidence that they call some TV programming, right? Programs. How have you been programmed? Where have you allowed yourself to be programmed? How are we deprogramming? This card came out, I believe it was more inverted than upright. Yep, absolutely. And so that energy of debugging, of deprogramming right now, of noticing where that programming is still present. It's very insidious. And so we're really noticing that on a deeper level this week. And we're working through some of that programming. And we're really paying attention, right? We're using that discernment, as Johnny said. Using that discernment. Noticing where there is interference, who and what is attempting to interfere with our growth. And are we going to allow it, right? This can also show up as people in our lives, right? So it's really noticing that and paying attention and cutting out that interference, removing that interference when we notice it. Yeah, I've definitely, the chariot almost popped out again, which was on the bottom of the deck earlier, right? And now we have 9, fortitude. Yeah, so we're being asked to persevere right now. We're being asked to continue to move forward. There's growth here, right? We went from the 8 to the 9. So it's, and I can relate to this picture right now, right? It's cold, it's snowy out there, but he's moving forward. We're being asked to keep moving forward. We're being asked to not allow this interference. And a lot of times too, this interference also, this comes from within ourselves, right? Because the programming we've programmed us so well that we create this interference without the help of outside forces. But this is also like, I was just reading today, totally going on a tangent for a second. Bring me back if I forget talking about the interference of our own minds. Technology, radio waves, we want to be distancing ourselves from radio waves as frequently as possible in order to allow field time to recover. Balancing that out by listening to binaural light language, things like that recalibrate our energy fields. All right. Coming back from that now, back to this interference of our own minds, right? Our own minds have been conditioned to become our worst enemies. I don't necessarily believe it was always that way. I believe that it was engineered that way, right? In order to dominate and control. And so we're really noticing and paying attention to where our own minds have gotten away with us, right? Where we are creating interference in our own lives. And we're being asked to continue to move forward, asked to not allow ourselves or anybody else to convince us we're not making progress, to convince us we're not worthy, convince us that we're not still moving forward, because we absolutely are. This is a week where there's going to be we got a lot of this stuff this truth being revealed, right? A lot of these illusions being dispelled, a lot of this painful transformation for some, right? And so it's some intense energy. It's some intense energy. So we're being asked to just don't give up this week. Keep moving forward. Even if you're moving slow, keep moving. All right? And sometimes moving doesn't have to look like action. It just looks like not giving up, right? Because we never want to confuse this energy with like, don't take a break or a rest if you need a break or a rest, all right? It's just don't give up. Don't turn around. Don't throw in the towel. Keep moving forward. Keep having that fortitude. Even if things come up, things show up in your path that seem to, it's kind of like I'm imagining right now, you know, like when you're driving somewhere and then all of a sudden they've closed a road or something and they're asking you to take a detour. How frustrating that is, especially if, like, say you don't know the area and you're using, like I do pretty much everywhere I go, like Google Maps or something. And you're like, but wait, it's not showing me how to reroute this. How do I get around this detour? Where am I going to go if I go down this detour, right? Nobody's telling me what's down that road, right? Now I have to really trust, because I know that my GPS is just going to keep trying to take me down the road that they closed. So I got to go in this whole uncharted territory, right? So there's this energy this week of trusting the detours and just allowing the detours and knowing the detours, not allowing those detours to throw you off course. Right? Don't just give up because you had to take a detour, because something was placed in your path that was unexpected. All right, look at that as a blessing. Look at that as an opportunity to try a new direction, to learn something else. There may be something down that road less traveled that you never would have found if you hadn't been if you hadn't had to travel that road, right? Right? You may not have chosen it for yourself, but there's something down there that you needed to see or know. So just like trusting and knowing that and continuing to move forward, continuing to persevere, regardless of what form this interference takes place in your life. Did moving the router help you guys? Or is it still going in and out? Clear. So on the bottom of the deck, we have indolence, right? And that's inverted as well. So this is like just what we talked about. I mean, look at this card here. This is that energy of moving beyond whatever it is that keeps us stuck, right? Those energies that we were talking about at the beginning of this live, right? What is lowering our vibration? What is draining our life force? What is not getting us where we want to go, right? This is laziness and procrastination. And I don't mean laziness in a mean way, right? Procrastination. This is indulgence. This is whatever the ways that we escape our reality, really moving beyond those energies. This week, we're being asked to step it up in many different ways this week. Lots of different ways that these initiations come for us. And then we have abundance and sorrow coming out. 3 right here. And so what is this showing us? This is showing us and confirming to us that the sorrow, the pain that we are feeling, right? Pain of this transformation is the gateway that actually creates the great abundance that we're looking for. This is like triumph that comes out of adversity, is what this feels like to me. Yeah. It's like the things, this is just a reminder that the things that cause us the most pain, right? The things that look like that we think are the worst are actually the blessings that we've been waiting for in disguise, or they're moving us toward our blessings. The setbacks are moving us toward our blessings. The interference, right, is actually what's creating the abundance. We had to move through the pain in order to get to the pleasure. And in order to really value what we have. This is like the energy of past disappointment as well. It really leads us to appreciate what it is that we have. This is the energy of alchemy right here, right? When we transform our sorrow into joy. Our loss is our gain. Our perceived loss, right? Getting out of stuck, absolutely. Hello, Alora. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of spiders either. Although they do tend to be a messenger for me sometimes. Yeah. Hopefully I've absorbed all the messages I need from them, so we don't need any more. And then we got the star coming out. This is healing. This is triumph, right? This is that trust and vulnerability that we were talking about. This is also an expansion and explosion of our gifts. So I really feel like there's this deep healing that is ultimately available to us this week. Yeah, this deep healing. And notice how, right? And this is the card that represents Aquarius energy. We have all that in the Urban Tarot. It's these bottles of water spilling out the water, right? That's where the water is pouring out in this particular star card. That's the pouring out of emotion. That's the pouring out of everything that doesn't serve, right? Like we talked about, everything that brings down our vibration. So what's left? An empty vessel, an empty container. And from that emptiness, we then are able to connect with the things that truly make us full, right? Instead of this false feeling of fullness. And that's the energy of addiction, right? We've been talking about addictions a lot today, right? It's this energy where we keep filling and filling this emptiness with something that we think makes us full, but it doesn't really fill us up. So there's always a lack, there's always a vacuum, and we're always trying to add more. Right? This is where we allow all of that to pour out. We don't try to fill it with something that doesn't really make us feel full. Instead, we acknowledge the emptiness and whatever fears are present there, whatever wounds are present there. And then we allow that energy to be filled with what it truly desires, that void, that space, which is healing, which is light, which is love, right? Which is true presence and self-acceptance and love, right? Comfortableness with self. Remember, we are in the year, and if you guys haven't watched the nodes video yet, I highly suggest that you check it out. We are working with the energy of Taurus this year, as the North Node is now in Taurus, right? North Node in Taurus, South Node in Scorpio. So we're working with this energy of being, this energy of presence. Sitting in that space, sitting in that emptiness. That's exactly, Johnny. Defiant self-love. All right. Then we got the Queen of Wands on the bottom of the deck. And then this deck is called the Public Defender, right? So really having that courage to stand up for what it is that we believe in, to honor our truth. I wanted to pull a dream card or two for you guys before we get the crystal cards for today. I don't know why, just the dream is calling to me. All right. Clear. All right. And I just want to acknowledge again, I want to acknowledge all of the little things that you guys do to let me know how much you appreciate me, whether that's a donation, whether that's a little gift, whether that's a little note. Just once again to acknowledge you guys for that. You guys bring so much joy to my life. Just those little acknowledgements. Every time you guys leave a comment, right? Or even hit that like button. It's that reflection of the value, right? That you feel I bring to you, that each of you brings to me. All right, let's see what messages from the dream cards. What messages from the subconscious, right? This is a very moon energy here before we move on for this week. We have a word coming out, accept your well-earned praise. So there's that energy of self-worth and self-love coming out again. Where can you allow? I think for some people, this is the energy of really allowing yourself to be complimented too. It's like some people may be really learning how to take a compliment this week. And I know this was something that I'm a therapist for a little while when I was in high school or middle school or somewhere around there in that age range. And she was the one that taught me how to take a compliment, because I didn't know. Anytime somebody would give me a compliment, I would immediately tell them why they were wrong, or point out something contradictory to what they had to say that was good about me. Right? That was my instinct. That was my instinctual response, was to be like, oh yeah, but this, or but you don't really know, or actually, that kind of an energy, right? And so she taught me, don't say anything except for thank you. And so she would compliment me sometimes during our sessions, and if I would start to say anything, she would say, no, just say thank you. And it was really helpful, actually. And I got later in life actually very good at taking compliments. And I'm still I still can't accept them today. But I had to learn how to do that. And so a lot of us, it's like being acknowledged for the work that we do, for the value that we bring to other people's lives, where we're not just talking about acknowledgement of value, right? May make us uncomfortable. So notice that and pay attention to that. I appreciate you so much too. Notice and pay attention to that. Are you able to receive praise from others? Are you able to feel good about the things that you do? Are you able to recognize the value that you bring? Right? A lot of us, we can recognize the value that others bring, but we don't necessarily, it's more difficult for us to understand the value that we bring. And so are you able to acknowledge that? Are you able to recognize and understand that? Are you able to accept that when other people point that out to you? And for some of you guys, I really feel, so we have the Mountain Hill, which is reach your goals, and we have the purse or wallet, pursue your true wealth here. So I'm feeling with a combination of all these cards here that this week somebody may be hitting the jackpot in some way, shape, or form. Like you're being recognized for the hard work that you've put into something. And for some of you, this definitely feels career related. Like you receive some sort of award or recognition in your field for whatever it is that you do. And it could be a bonus. It could be a raise for some people. A promotion. It definitely feels like that kind of an energy for some. A financial goal that you've set for yourself, some sort of manifestation goal. Whatever it is that abundance means to you, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be money, but this is definitely feeling that way for some. Money or career. Whatever abundance means to you, you are reaching a milestone with that. You are receiving some type of reward from the universe. Once again, if you are willing to receive it, if you are willing to acknowledge that you deserve it. For some people, that's what finally shifts the energy here. Is if you've been waiting on this, it's because before you didn't believe that you were worthy of it. You didn't fully believe that you deserved it. And you do. And when that happens, all of a sudden the energy shifts. And it's sort of like, I believe it's the woman who channels Abraham there. Abraham Hicks. And whoever the woman's name is, Esther, I think her name is. And she talks about the vortex and how it's all in the vortex. It's like it was in the vortex. It was waiting, but you hadn't quite become a vibrational match to it yet. And all of a sudden you do, and it comes through. So that's really beautiful. And the reason that you weren't a vibrational match was because you didn't believe you were fully worthy. Yeah. And this is also for some other people too. This is about this week really coming to a place where we've been, and this has been happening. This was also with that new moon in Aquarius. This energy felt very powerful, right? This energy of us really getting clear on what it is that we want. What does true abundance look like to me? What does true wealth? What does living in my truth mean to me? Right? What does joy? What does freedom? Whatever this thing was. And for a lot of us, it was freedom, right? Remember, Aquarius energy is all about that energy of freedom. Freedom to be who we are. Freedom to express who we are. Integrity, truth. All of that, right? What does that really look like to me? And what do I want? What is my mountain? What is my hill that I'm ready and wanting to climb, right? What is my purpose? How am I being led to fulfill that? We really got clear about what these things were, and also like what has meaning and value to us. We set some new goals for ourselves. So this is the energy of really reaching the pinnacle of our previous mountain and then deciding what is the next mountain that we want to climb. What are those next goals, right? As we have achieved a certain level of our dreams, we're now dreaming bigger. We're moving on to that next mountain. Or we're getting clearer about the dreams that we do have and the trajectory for getting there. And then we have X on the bottom of the deck here. It says reunite with the lost aspect of your soul. The bottom of the deck energy here. This is really, and for some people, all right, I'm actually feeling here, this is what the reward is for some people too, where it's not a financial thing. It's not a promotion or recognition. In that sense, or even a deeper understanding of like your trajectory. What this reward is there's an aspect of yourself that you're reuniting with. For some people, yeah, if you've really been working towards reuniting with a soul that you have a deep connection with, or you feel you have a deep connection with, Some people may be getting communication, or you may be getting that recognition from that person, whether that's in the form of getting back together or that's in the form of getting closure in the situation, getting the recognition that you never received, that you really desired. Some people that may be happening for you this week, but also for others. This is like deeper than that, and this is another aspect of yourself. This is like a soul retrieval type energy, another aspect of yourself that's being called in and called home, an aspect of you that's necessary in order for you to move forward and achieve what you're meant to achieve in this lifetime, in order to live your purpose. So that's big energy too, right there for somebody. Whether for a lot of people, whether this is a reunion with a specific person, or whether this is like a really powerful soul retrieval. And remember, soul retrievals are not always dramatic on the outside. Clear. I've had shamanic guided soul retrievals. I've had self-guided soul retrievals. I've had soul retrievals spontaneously in meditation with crystals, or during healing sessions. And I've had soul retrievals that I'm probably not even aware of, that just naturally happened as a result of the healing work that I've done. All right. And a lot of times they didn't feel super dramatic. They were very subtle. So you may not even necessarily notice when this soul retrieval happens to you, but for some people it is happening, and it's happening to allow you to be able to move forward along the pathway that you need to move forward, with the wisdom and the knowledge that you need, with the skills and abilities that you need, which may be coming in over time. Oh yeah. Our biggest dreams are designed to make us afraid, right? So that we can overcome that fear, so we can move through that fear. The things that we really want terrify us the most a lot of times. And that's not an accident that is what it is. That is not an accident. All right, on the bottom of the deck, we have color, express your true feelings. There's a lot of that energy, right? Working with emotion this week. A lot of powerful emotion coming in, a lot of opportunity to express how we truly feel. That's part of this energy too. Like, part of that transition, that heart energy, is learning how to speak from our hearts, where words need to be spoken. Right? And remember, we're always learning and remembering the difference of what needs to be spoken and what does not, right? All right. I'm going to read through a little bit. Does anyone have any questions or anything they want to throw out there before we close today? Oh shit, we still crystal. While we're pulling the crystals, if anyone does have any questions, clear, or anything they want to talk about before we close this live, throw those in the chat. In the meantime, we're gonna get an energy. We're gonna get a crystal that wants to assist us this week. This process, this transformation, like I said when we were talking about soul retrievals, right? It's a natural byproduct of the healing process. So as you heal, as this aspect of the heart is healed, as this deeper level of awareness comes in, right? There's spontaneous soul retrievals happening for many people. Oh, thank you. Thank you, John. Start getting creative here soon. I'm at the phase now where I'm starting to outgrow a lot of my clothes. All right, let's see what crystals want to assist us as we move through this next week. All right, that came out quick. So we have black tourmaline protection coming out. So once again, we have that energy protection, that reminder to cleanse and clear our energy field, to call in our protection, to call in our team, right? To make sure that we are standing in our energetic sovereignty. And I'm working on a course regarding maintaining our energetic sovereignty, finding our energetic sovereignty, moving into our energetic sovereignty. So I was laying down some of the groundwork for that today. It was pretty exciting. It's so important. But we're going to read about this protection. Black tourmaline, very grounding, a great stone for dispelling negative energies, lower vibratory energies, and also of protecting and shielding the aura. To counteract some of that interference that we were talking about earlier, right? That we were feeling. These energies that are seeking to prevent us from continuing to grow and blossom and evolve, right? So, and taking the light language on that card as usual, this card is encoded with the vibration of black tourmaline. Black tourmaline, also a very readily available stone. And so it's one that is really easy to come across and work with. And the master crystal deva of black tourmaline is Anukael. And Anukael says, "Seek me, but do not judge, for outwardly I am as the darkest night, but within I am the bright shining light of day. I carry this quality to you, allowing inner security and protection. It matters not the outer surface. By my teaching, the gathering of trust within self will empower you to a space of self-love that will then flow into all you create. Your world is not to be feared, but understood and nurtured. It is a measure of what lives in you. In my embrace, you are like a child in the womb, secure and protected by your own trust in and wisdom of your light." And how perfect is that, you guys? We're talking about, I am as the darkest night, but within I am the bright shining light of day, right? We shine most brightly in the darkness. That's why so many of us have been through incredibly dark circumstances. We have lived in the darkness for a very long time. That was like the energy that polishes the diamond. We are that diamond in that analogy, right? That darkness, that pain, that suffering. That is what allows us to shine the brightest. That is why we shine so brightly, because we've been through all of that. We've overcome that. We've learned how to alchemize and transmute that, right? And if we're going through that dark night of the soul again, it's because we are being polished to be an even more brilliant, an even sharper and more refined diamond than we already are. Right? There is great light within darkness. That is where our greatest light is found. So I love how this really sums up a lot of what we were talking about, you guys. Black tourmaline, let's see. Black tourmaline is an opaque black mineral characterized by long striations that run down its body, which allow it to carry and direct a very large amount of light powerfully into a chosen area. Let's see. This relatively cheap stone is the most powerful form of protection available from the mineral kingdom. It has a shielding effect on negative, dense, or heavy energies. So anyone who knows that you're going to be going into dense and heavy energies this week as well, whether this is like a family event or a work event or something that you feel obligated to do that you can't avoid, carry some black tourmaline with you for that too. It achieves this not only by its vast amount of light, but also by bringing confidence to the self and empowering trust in the light that you are. Black tourmaline is able to teach the most powerful lessons associated with confidence and protection of self on all levels. This mineral is only physically available substance that is able to protect us from our own negative outputs. I'm going to read that again, you guys. That's powerful. This mineral is the only physically available substance that is able to protect us from our own negative outputs. This makes it very useful in the treatment of mentally created illness and countering negative or fear-based outputs and healing. So like we said, our own minds being the greatest source of interference, this can even assist us with that. At the mental and emotional level, black tourmaline facilitates focus and self-trust, which backs up actions in the world, cuts attachments, and activates a powerful sense of security and personal power. More spiritually, it can activate the base chakra and may play a role in lifting the Kundalini energy. Black tourmaline is a sacred contact stone for masters Almoria, Allah, Gobi, and Osiris, while deity correspondences include Anubis, Bast, and Sekhmet. So a major Egyptian deity contact stone here. Physically, it can be used for depression, heavy electromagnetic radiation, which we also talked about, right? Stress, anxiety, panic, and all pain, including back and spinal problems. So really cleansing us on every level of being, protecting and cleansing us mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, right? If black tourmaline has come to you today, something has or will test your ability to trust yourself and stand in your personal power with absolute confidence in the light that you are. And this really sums up a lot about what this reading was about today, right? This is that discernment that we were talking about. Something with this coming week is going to test your ability to trust yourself and stand in your personal power, to trust your own discernment. Is this safe? Is this not? Is this for my best interest, in my best interest, or is it not? Does this person have my best intentions, the best intentions for me at heart, or do they not? Right? Can I trust myself? Is what's being presented to me truth, or is it fiction? Right? Do I know the difference? Do I have the ability to trust in that resonance, to trust in my own discernment? Do I have confidence in who I am and what I believe in, what I know? Right? These are the questions. When situations present to us in life that we are supposed to take action upon, very often we react losing control of our mental ability. It is here that fear lives and the desire for protection arises. There is truly nothing to be fearful of in the entire universe except your own mind out of control. It creates all pain and suffering, but in turn, in its state of mastery, can recreate heaven on earth. While you learn this lesson on all levels, or perhaps even take a break to recharge, black tourmaline is your friend, allowing a protected, safe, and secure place of learning. Wow, you guys, that is powerful, right? There's truly nothing to be fearful of in the entire own mind out of control. It creates all pain and suffering, but in turn, in its state of mastery, and we've been talking about this mastery of the mind for a long time now, right? We've been working on this since 2020. Heavily, at least we've been working our whole lives, but heavily since 2020. In its state of mastery, the mind can recreate heaven on earth, right? So that's what we're learning how to do. So the whole process of mental mastery, this black tourmaline can be helpful with. And the affirmation for black tourmaline is, I trust in my infinite light. Fear is illusion, love is real, right? And that's a great affirmation that we use all the time already, right? I trust in my infinite light. Fear is illusion, love is real, right? So this week is all about seeing through the illusion of fear and finding the love, finding the trust, finding the faith within. The faith in ourselves above all else. Yeah. So black tourmaline can be placed much like black kyanite, which has very similar functions. Beneath the feet to flush out toxins. It can be held at the solar plexus to increase power and trust in the self. And it can be placed on the third eye. For some, this facilitates communication with the Manu, Allah Gobi. And that you want to play with care, and you want to look more into. I don't know a lot about Allah Gobi. Clearly to look more into that if that's something that interests you before playing with that. And the stress release trinity with black kyanite, or black tourmaline rather, includes black onyx on the upper left side of the chest, Herkimer diamond on the solar plexus, and black tourmaline on the upper right side of the chest. So you place these stones here, or you can use clear quartz that you program simply by setting the intention to take on the qualities of that crystal if you don't have these specific crystals. Take nice long deep breaths, draw the energy of the crystals through your body, filling it up. Once your body is full, release the energy through your feet on the out breaths and see it absorbed into the earth. So that's a stress release trinity that can be worked with for, including black tourmaline. And I'm feeling called to say again the crystal deva associated with this, Anukael. All right. Then on the bottom of the deck, we have Sapphire, Spiritual Truth. So helping us to get that deeper clarity that we've been talking about, right? Ooh, and yeah, Garnet under that, Manifestation of Purpose. Take that in for a second. So if you have gotten very clear about your purpose with this, through this new moon in Aquarius, moving toward that full moon in Leo, right? Help you to align with that more deeply and really manifest that in the physical world. We're going to look at Sapphire real quick because I'm feeling this as well. This deck, in case anybody is interested, we use this all the time, and I don't necessarily introduce it all the time anymore. It is the Liquid Crystal Oracle. And this is actually a healing system. You can use these cards, and you can do healings with these cards. They're charged with the energy of the crystals. And they all include, like I read about, the placements for the healing trinities, and this is a healing system that has been reclaimed from Atlantis, where we worked with crystals a lot in Atlantis. All right, let's see. I want to see what we want to say. The Master Crystal Deva of Sapphire is Nunel. Let's see. Principally a communication stone and powerful stone of channeling, Sapphire opens all the higher communication centers, enabling psychic abilities and infusing accuracy into the intuition. All this culminates in mastery of communication. So working with that energy of communication, right? Mastery of the mind, mastery of communication. So a lot of mercurial energy, right? As we did have Mercury, I think somebody mentioned it in the chat earlier too. I try to keep a side eye on it, but it is definitely hard to follow fully and stay engaged in the reading. So I apologize if I'm not more engaged in the chat. Let me know what you guys prefer, but I feel like you guys like it when we get into it. Hello, Joe. So yeah, I think this works out for everyone the way that we're doing this here. But where were we going with that? Oh yeah, Mercury going direct. I think that somebody did acknowledge that in the chat. So that happened just within the last few days. It happened right after the new moon, actually, I believe. So on the 3rd, it was the 3rd or the 4th that we had Mercury go direct. All right, let's see. Sapphire is a powerful stone of the mind, allowing it to be calmed and moved into peace, which results in an uplifting and joyful feeling of freedom. We also talking about Mercury. Mercury's been in that close relationship to Pluto. So we've had a huge activation there, of huge mental activation and purging of the mental body. So this can help to, I'm feeling this assisting in the integration of those Pluto and Mercury conjunctions, of everything that we learned during the Mercury retrograde. This card really assisting with all of that, the integration of all of that. It is a powerful antidepressive, allowing those that are cut off from spirit and struggling to find beauty in the self to reveal it. Then by again in the life, and what did we have after? Garnet, manifestation of purpose, boom. So this leads to this. All right. Spiritual truth leads to manifestation of purpose, of course, right? These are the bottom, what they say on the bottoms of the cards here. Let's see what else. Potently increasing the availability of the spirit, Sapphire aids in the conversion of knowledge to wisdom. The conversion of knowledge to wisdom, a gift it performs through the egoless anchoring of absolute truth. Through work with the stone, awareness of one's life purpose may present itself in such a way that a path to achieving it is made clear. So if you've been frustrated because you're still wanting and not really understanding how to manifest that purpose, that path isn't becoming clear, you're not even fully sure what it is yet. Remember, you're living it right now. That's the funny part, right? But work with Sapphire. Work with Sapphire. Let's see. Great beings that answer within the frequency of Sapphire include Lady Isis, Lady Nada, and Lord Maitreya. Sacred deity correspondences include Artemis, Poseidon, and Noon. Let's see. Sapphire helps to balance overactive body systems. All right. mental and digestive imbalances. So helping to balance all of these powerful ascension energies that we've been experiencing, all of these activations, right? Sapphire has a strong memory that can hold information often concerning healing systems and techniques from past times on Earth. So if you're we had that soul retrieval energy come through earlier. Aspects of yourself as a healer in other dimensions. Remembering, incorporating that into our lifetimes now. I feel Sapphire helping us with that as well. Really helping us to tap into these energies, this old ancient wisdom. And this remembrance. Most importantly, I'm feeling for people, the remembrance that we know how to heal ourselves, right? Of self-healing. And also I'm feeling this coming through for people who are in the middle of creating their own system of healing, or have this knowledge and this feeling that they're meant to bring a new system of healing to this planet at this time. Remember, it's not new. It's actually quite old. You've done it before, and the Sapphire can help to connect you to that. So anything that you're trying to create right now, anywhere where you're needing this deeper level of spiritual truth or remembrance in order to do what you came here to do at this time, I'm feeling Sapphire calling to you for that as well. And energy is all about being truthful. Be sure that you're being truthful with self and others. Love as thought is truth. Love at the level of spirit is unconditional love, the very presence of the infinite self. Remember always that the measure of truth starts within the self. If you are right within, you will be right in the world. Sapphire's presence in your life today may also mean that it is time to convert the knowledge you have worked so hard to achieve into wisdom. And remember, we talk about this all the time. What is wisdom? Applied knowledge. This conversion only takes place through action, right? Defined by the spirit in the egoless state. Go inward and listen, then act accordingly. Sapphire also appears when one is being called to the ocean. It may be time for the cleansing light only it can offer. And the affirmation is, in truth, I am free. Yeah. So work with that energy if you're looking to increase your psychic abilities as well. Peace and calm channeling, working on that energy of applying your knowledge and converting it to wisdom, right? Seeking that life purpose, accessing these aspects of these lost aspects of the self to aid in communication. Work with it on the throat chakra. It mainly is placed on the throat, third eye, and crown. When placed on the thymus, which is like the higher heart area right here, the thymus gland is what regulates it helps with immunity. All right. When placed here, Sapphire will stimulate telepathy. Interesting. It may also be placed at the site of disease to learn the truth behind an ailment. And the thymus activation trinity involves Sapphire on the lower left side of the chest, Herkimer diamond on the thymus chakra, and aquamarine on the lower right side of the chest. And the trinity of the elders, Sapphire is placed on the throat chakra, emerald is placed on the heart chakra, and ruby is placed on the solar plexus. Hematite can also be placed on the earth star chakra, and pyrite can be placed on the soul star to increase this powerful healing process. And just so you guys are aware, I've done a couple of those healing trinities before. They are intense. The energy is powerful. So utilize them with care. All right. Okay. So clear. Let me see before we grab our blessing if any questions came up. Anything we want to talk about before we end? Let's see. Abundance is freedom. Absolutely. Freedom is the greatest form of abundance. That's what I seek the most. That is my abundance right there. Freedom and joy. Let's see. Oh, absolutely, Eve. That's if that's where you're at, you're today is more about listening. That's beautiful. Okay, let's see. Doesn't look like we have any questions so far. Of all the crystals, we're the most powerful one. Boom, right there. I love that. I love that, John. You are absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, it was really fascinating. So one of the ways that I came to understand like the real importance of clearing ourselves as healers, especially those of us who work in channel energy, right, was we were learning about when I learned polarity in school, which works with the elemental makeup of the body, so the earth, air, fire, water, ether, balancing all those elements. They also taught us some crystal work, which isn't traditional polarity, but it's something that the school that I went to added into it, to their understanding of polarity and how they taught it. And so they're talking to us about the importance of cleansing our crystals after we work on people. And I realized, right, what is a crystal doing? It is channeling and absorbing energy. I realized that as an energy healer, like doing Reiki, doing these different things that we do, or any of us just being super empaths, right? We're doing this anyway. Being the 144,000, as Dolores Cannon says, being the ones that are shifting this energy on this planet. We're absorbing so much energy. Think about that. We are the crystals. And when I looked at myself as the crystal, I was like, oh shit. Yeah, I really want to be cleansing my energy, because of course I would cleanse my crystals after I worked on somebody. Imagine the energy they can pick up. Imagine myself full of that same energy all day long, not clearing myself, not cleansing myself. It's the same idea. And so we really want to treat yourself the way you would treat your favorite crystal, right? How often would you cleanse that crystal? How often would you set it out in the moonlight, right? How often would you make sure that you are smudging it and that you were keeping it at its best? How much love would you send into that crystal? We treat yourself that same way. We are healers, absolutely. Oh yeah. So it looks like we didn't have well, Johnny, I mean, if you don't feel drawn to own more of them, then I guess that's the one that's most resonant for you. So it's totally up to you. It's totally up to you. Yeah. There you go, John. The throat chakra, that sapphire is really good for that. Work with that sapphire for those throat chakra blockages. SIM card, McKenna. Perfect. I love those synchronicities, McKenna. Yeah. Yeah. And it's even the narcissist empath paradigm, right? We're moving out of that. We're transcending that. All of these paradigms, all of these, right? That is simply another, in a lot of ways, right? When we're looking at that paradigm, that's another example of the victim and the perpetrator mentality. Right? So we're moving out of that. We're moving away from that energy. That's an old energy. That's an old system, an old paradigm, right? We have the victim, we have the perpetrator, and we have the savior. We're scrapping all of that, right? We are our own saviors. There is no such thing as a victim. Yeah, Patty. Yeah, it's rough. I asked for it, Patty. Well, talking about manifestations and funny ways they come, I asked for it. I thought I was ready. I guess now it's like ready or not, right? Okay, let's get that blessing out, you guys. I hope that everyone who does find this, I know a lot of people watch this on the replay. I don't know if they watch the whole thing or not, but if you do, I hope that you're able to absorb the messages clear that you need. Just know that we are calling on your energy as well, right? So even if you're not physically present with us, you're still, Spirit knows everyone that's going to see this, right? And you're going to find it at the perfect time for you, as you always do. All right. Anyone who hasn't hit that like button yet, hit that like button. All right. Let's see. What is our blessing for the week? What is our blessing for the week? Okay, we got two popping right out here. We have a blessing to ease loneliness and bring companionship. And this, when we're talking about this energy, this is another instance of that hole, right? We're talking about that hole that just can't seem to be filled. But there does come a time, right, when we are whole and complete within ourselves. But there still is this energy, there still is this longing and desire for companionship, and that's not a bad thing, right? It's just the energy of, is this something that we desire, or is it something that we feel like we need? If we feel like we need it and we can't be complete without it, that's when we need to do some work. It's simply something that we desire, that we know would enhance our lives, then that's a different energy. And then a blessing on a new venture. So that's for whoever is creating and starting something new this week. So we're going to read both of these. And then I love on the bottom of the deck here, we have a blessing to find your way. So for all those who are feeling lost, the angels are sending out a blessing for you as well. Yeah, I am feeling like I want to read both of the ones that popped out here. But this, to me, we're not going to read all of these because it's just going to it's going to be too much. But I feel like this is definitely a confirmation and a message for somebody. That if you feel as though you are lost, first of all, Spirit, I feel like wants you to know that you're not as lost as you think you are. That's illusion. Sometimes right when we feel the most lost is actually when we are about to be found, right? Or when we discover that we were actually right on course the whole time, right? So just know that, believe in yourself, and know that this place of, see how naked she is, see how vulnerable she is, that place of deepest vulnerability is where the greatest miracles occur. All right? And you may feel like you're stumbling blindly. You are actually being guided, and you are actually right where you belong. Everything is unfolding exactly how it's meant to. All right? We got under that a blessing on your boundaries, reminding us to keep strong, firm boundaries this week, right? And a blessing for the right words for those who are desiring or needing that communication. And then a blessing on prosperity, which connects to that energy of those who have those windfalls coming in this week. But we're going to read these two. A blessing to ease loneliness and bring companionship. This is a blessing for when we find ourselves out of the touchstones of our humanity, our friends and companions. And so this is a blessing for anyone who is feeling that sense of loneliness more acutely this week, right? You've been doing all the work on yourself, right? You've been working to heal. You've been working to be whole and complete. And you feel that you are in a lot of ways, but there's still that need, that desire for companionship, for tribe, for kinship. And maybe you've lost some people. Maybe you had to let some people go who were not meant to be part of your path any longer. That's what I'm feeling. And if you're meant to do that, this is a blessing to ease that sometimes comes. When we're releasing, when we know that the people that we're releasing from our lives are meant to be released, right? A period of loneliness, quite different to solitude, can take place for many reasons. We can move away, our lives can change and be reshaped. And suddenly the space we found for each other has been closed off or absorbed by others. Sometimes we isolate ourselves, unwilling to be a burden to any others. And some are born into shyness and paralyzing social anxieties that make the seeking of friendships a terrifying thing. This blessing is for you when you feel alone. Let there be that call, that memory that comes to remind you of your innate worthiness. Let there be a smile from a stranger, a touch from a kind hand that lets you know your humanity is the same as theirs. And you have about you connections that can't be woven. Let other gentle hands pick up and do the reweaving when you find yourself unable to perform the task. And let serendipity come to you, guiding you to chance meetings or places where music plays and people move. And the gathering is undemanding of you, yet surround you with the quality of inclusion. Let the loneliness begin to break like clouds slowly moving apart, the great heaviness of isolation Begin to be lightened by loving companions, humans, and otherwise, until you return to a place where you know you have within your life those who care for you. And without your presence, their life seems less bright. So really, just bringing us that we find the connection that we seek, right? Because as human beings, we always seek that connection. That's part of how we're wired, right? Because remember, there is separation is illusion. Everything is, we are all one. So there is truly never this, like, we're always connected. We can't be anything else. But that's the great pain of this reality, this dimension, is that illusion of separation. So if you have fallen too deeply into that illusion, if your outer reality is mirroring that illusion in a way that feels painful, this blessing is for you. We seek connection because we know it's an aspect of us remembers that we are always connected, but it feels very different sometimes. But just know that I love you. I appreciate you. You are connected to me. You are connected to this entire tribe, and you were never alone. And then for those taking up a new venture this week, we have the blessing on a new venture, and we're going to read that one too. A blessing to set direction, awaken determination, and establish a path through the unknown adventure ahead. May you look into the unknown tangle of possibilities ahead and find a pathway through to your goals and dreams. May the arrow of your intention be drawn back with commitment and a strong hand. May your eyes pierce the veils of the unknown, and may the arrow take flight and be sure and true. When you strike the mark, may your hopes be exceeded by the reality. And may the relish with which you began the dream be equaled by the joy in bringing to life what were once only imagined possibilities. Let the way between you and your dreams maturity be clear and clean. Gather speed and arc above all obstacles as it journeys toward its mark. As you begin, be certain of yourself, be open to adaptation. May you be clear on what it is you yearn for, yet as flexible as the bow. And may you be as sharp as the arrowhead, so that you may penetrate all that seeks to hold you back and find your mark, landing true and bold and deep. Blessed be. Right. I love you guys so much. I appreciate you. I'm so glad. Hello, Liquid Fire. I'm so glad that you were all able to join us today. Hello, Heather. Yes. Yes. That's it. That's what this first card was all about. Coming from a place of love, living from a place of love, acting, speaking from that place of love, choosing from that place of love, right? How do we know that we're aligned with the 5D Earth? All of our choices are made from love. That's it. What is the loving choice here? And do we understand the true definition of love, right? Because a lot of us have been misled to believe that codependence is love, that unnecessary sacrifice is love. So first we have to understand what love truly is, I guess, before we can ask ourselves that question. But honestly, especially if we counter love with fear, am I choosing out of love, or am I choosing out of fear? Right? That's a simple way. That's a simple way to know the difference, to judge the difference. Yes. Yeah. Go to I don't think you were here at the beginning, Heather, at the beginning of the live, go back and rewatch that beginning part where we talk about, we pulled the tarot cards. That was the overriding card for the reading today. It's like the heart transfusion. The heart, it's not it's a blood transfusion. What is it when you get a new heart? What's the word I'm looking for there? That's what this energy for this upcoming week feels like. Transplant. It's such powerful heart healing this week. Yeah, that's right, Suzanne. Yeah, Pamela, exactly. All right, you guys. Hello, Salmon. Hello, simple but not easy. Exactly. But we didn't come here for easy, right? We didn't come here for easy. We are the best of the best. We are the toughest of the toughest. Lainey, CJD, John, right? McKenna. And so we came here, Mooney, we came here to do the hard thing. And honestly, even if it's going to be a huge week, Joe, even if it isn't easy on the outside, I guarantee whether you guys know it or not, you guys make it look easy. We make it look easy because we are so powerful like that, right? We are so badass like that. Clear. So just trust in your inner badass. Even if you may have moments where you can't get in touch with them, or I recognize the badass in me recognizes the badass in you. All right. And we're doing it this week. We're going for it. We're making it happen. We are persevering. We are having fortitude, right? We are living in hope. We are living in trust. We are living in faith. And we are shielding, protecting our energy as we move through this next week. Yes, trust your inner badass. Exactly, Heather. They will not steer you wrong. All right, you guys are incredible. My beautiful spiritual badass, my beautiful sacred rebels, my cosmic creators. Hello, Kathy, Karen. I love you guys. Hello, Pamela. I love you so much. You are so amazing, each and every single one of you. I hope that you have an incredible Sunday and an incredible rest of your week. And we will, of course, I'm sure, touch base as the week goes on here. All right. I will see you all very soon. All right. Perfect, CJD. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Bye, guys. Oh, there we go. Bye.